Good evening, everybody. I'm Lou Dobbs. In at least one state, Dr. Ben Carson has surged past Donald Trump. 4 polls out of Iowa show Carson with a double-digit lead in at least the latest poll, while Trump leads in the other 3 early primary states. Trump nationally still comfortably on top of all of those polls. Trump responded quickly to his surprise second-place showing in Iowa. Trump sharpened his attacks against Carson and didn't hesitate to raise the issue of Carson's seventh-day Adventist faith. We'll have a full report for you tonight on the Republican battle for Iowa. Also tonight, only President Obama seems to think of Russia and its leader as weak. And Mr. Obama appears indifferent and unconcerned about Russian maneuvers to gain advantage over the United States around the globe. The Afghan government, only the latest to move closer to Russia, seeking Russian arms and equipment as Putin continues to forge closer ties with Iran, Syria, and Iraq, building new bases in the Arctic and using his Navy to threaten underwater cables that link U.S. telecommunications to both Europe and Asia. Tonight, we examine Russia's aggression and, in some instances, threatening foreign policy with the Defense of Democracy's John Hanna and former Pentagon official K.T. McFarland. And the Hollywood left, escalating the war against law enforcement. The head of the New York Police Department's largest union denouncing Quentin Tarantino after the director referred to police as murderers. The union now calling for a police boycott of Tarantino. Should the public join that boycott? With us tonight, law enforcement experts Rod Wheeler and Dan Bongino. We'll be right back with that. Our top story tonight, the fight for Iowa and the Republican presidential nomination. New polling out of Iowa showing Carson overtaking Trump by double digits as they both prepare to face off in the third GOP debate Wednesday. But the candidate who arguably needs to break out is Governor Jeb Bush. He's struggling with lackluster fundraising, sagging poll numbers. Fox News chief political correspondent Carl Cameron with our report.
Before attending a strategy session in Texas with big donors, his family and campaign team, Jeb Bush this weekend outlined cost-cutting steps and reforms to right his lagging campaign. Having said for months he'd run with joy in his heart, he sounded fed up.
If this election is about how we're going to fight to get nothing done, then I don't want anything. I don't want any part of it. I got a lot of really cool things that I could do other than sit around being miserable, listening to people demonize me and me feeling compelled to demonize them. That is a joke. Elect Trump if you want that.
With Iowa's caucuses 14 weeks from tonight, Bush knows time is short. In New Hampshire this morning, Trump cast Bush as a poor manager running to his parents to buck up donors.
He's losing. He's getting killed. And I say, if you can cut 40 to 50%, and they're all taking it. So he's meeting now with mom and dad. No, it's true. He needs counsel.
4 polls in 5 days show Ben Carson solidly ahead of Trump in Iowa. Monmouth and Loras College polls came today. Quinnipiac and the Des Moines Register last week. All 4 show Carson strong with evangelical Christians who tend to decide the GOP caucuses. Trump refused to apologize for saying he doesn't believe Carson is, quote, some great religious figure earlier this year. Over the weekend, he revisited Carson's faith and raised eyebrows.
I'm Presbyterian. Boy, that's down the middle of the road, folks, in all fairness. I mean, Seventh-day Adventist, I don't know about. I just don't know about.
Trump denies any insult to Carson or Seventh-day Adventists who have some different rituals and traditions from evangelicals. Carson cites his faith and giving all credit to God for his success as a distinguishing difference between himself and Trump.
I really refused to really get into the mud pit. Hillary actually was right when she said, that the Republicans are there, trying to destroy each other.
I didn't say anything bad about it. I just don't know about it. I would certainly give an apology if I said something bad about it, but I didn't. All I said was, I don't know about it.
This morning in New Hampshire, Trump weighed in on Muslim and Arab women who traditionally cover their faces with headscarves.
What the hell are we getting involved for? In fact, it's easier. You don't have to put up makeup. Look how beautiful everyone looks. Wouldn't it be easier? Wah. Right? Wouldn't that be easy? I'll tell you, if I was a woman, I don't want to. Wah. I'm ready, darling. Let's go.
The billionaire inherited his father's New York City real estate empire, but this morning bemoaned his early days.
It has not been easy for me. And, I started off in Brooklyn. My father gave me a small loan of $1 million. I came into Manhattan. and I had to pay him back, and I had to pay him back with interest.
Trump's late father left between $200 and $400 million to his 4 children. The Donald's been credited with expanding his father's real estate empire. Lou?
Carl, thank you very much. Carl Cameron. On the Democratic side, Senator Bernie Sanders increasing his attacks against Hillary Clinton. It may be an effort, however, to highlight differences between the two, or it may be a clever strategy to keep that race interesting so that it appears more like a race and less like a coronation for Hillary. Forgive me if that appears somewhat cynical. I would describe it as healthy skepticism about a campaign that has had its fair share of struggles. Fox News Chief White House correspondent Ed Henry with our report.
As Hillary Clinton today celebrates her 68th birthday, she's suddenly in the strongest position of the presidential race so far. Though there are still hurdles looming, from the FBI investigation of her email to the challenge from Democratic Socialist Senator Bernie Sanders, who's unveiled a new strategy of attacking Clinton in addition to his usual targets.
This country and our government belong to all of us, not just a handful of billionaires.
Clinton is responding to Sanders in part by suggesting he's made sexist comments, as she today released a new TV ad about pay equity.
Do you think when you're president you'll be paid as much as if it were a male?
This is one of the jobs where they have to pay you the same.
Saturday night at the Jefferson-Jackson dinner in Iowa, Clinton supporters flashed signs and T-shirts that said, "I'm fighting for her." And then the candidate herself suggested Sanders was being sexist at the Democratic debate earlier this month when he said Clinton was shouting over gun control.
I haven't been shouting, but sometimes when a woman speaks out, some people think it's shouting.
Sanders laughed off that charge.
Well, all that I can say is I am very proud of my record on women's issues.
That comes as Sanders sharpens his attacks on Clinton over substance, slamming her for a series of flip-flops on issues like the Pacific trade deal.
That agreement is not now, nor has it ever been, the gold standard of trade agreements.
Meanwhile, Vice President Joe Biden suggested to CBS's 60 Minutes his exit speech in the Rose Garden might have been a way to leave the door open if Clinton collapses, though he quickly backpedaled.
Part of the speech sounded like, "I'll be ready, I've got a plan if you need me," at some point.
Well, the truth is there's some truth to that because what I wanted to make clear...
But are you leaving the door open if something happens?
No.
Clinton is doing some damage control on little-noticed comments on MSNBC Friday when she suggested Republicans had blown the VA scandal out of proportion for ideological reasons.
It's not been as widespread as it has been made out to be.
The scandal was obviously very serious, with allegations that veterans died waiting for care. Within 24 hours, Clinton seemed to be trying to clarify, saying she realizes veterans deserve the benefits they've earned. Lou?
Thank you, Ed.